Good afternoon. We're about to begin Amnesty International USA's luncheon. Please take your seats. The program starts in 1 minute. Thank you. Buenas tardes. Estamos por empezar el almuerzo. Por favor, tomen sus asientos. El programa empieza en 1 minuto. Gracias. Bonjour. Nous allons bientôt commencer le déjeuner d'Amnesty. Nous vous prions de bien vouloir vous asseoir. Le programme débutera dans 1 minute. En vous remerciant.
Thank you.
Please direct your attention to the stage. The program begins now.
Hi, my name is Maria. When I was just 13, when my father forced me to marry a 7-year-old man who had 5 other wives, when I resisted, he told me, "I will kill you if you don't go join your husband." Across Burkina Faso, thousands of girls and young women are like me, being forced into early marriage. This has to stop.
My name is Fred Bauma. My fellow activist Yves Makwambala and I have been labeled terrorists and accused of planning to violently overthrow our government in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Our crime? Organizing an event that encouraged fellow young people to hold the regime to account. There's no evidence against us, and our charges are politically motivated. We are prisoners of conscience, and if convicted, could face the death penalty.
My name is Theodora, and I suffered a stillbirth in 2007. I was at work when I was suddenly overcome by serious pain. I fainted, and police arrested me as I laid in a pool of my own blood. I was later sentenced to 30 years for aggravated homicide, presumed guilty of abortion, which is a crime under any circumstances in El Salvador. Women and girls like me are being criminalized and killed by the country's total abortion ban.
My name is Kostas. In August 2014, my partner and I were badly beaten up in a homophobic and racist attack in central Athens, Greece. I saw my partner, who is a refugee, thrown to the pavement. Then, our attackers broke my leg into 3 pieces. No suspects were identified. None of them were punished. Across Greece, police and the government are failing to tackle rising violence motivated by hatred and are treating same-sex couples as second-class citizens.
My name is Saman Nassim, and I was tortured into confessing to shooting a soldier. I was just 17 years old. Iran has signed onto an international ban on child executions, but the authorities used my confessions to sentence me to death. My death sentence was quashed in 2015, but I still have to face a retrial. Amnesty activists are advocating for my right to a fair trial without recourse to the death penalty.
My name is Sunar. I am a political cartoonist from Malaysia. I could be facing a lengthy prison sentence simply for posting tweets condemning the imprisonment of an opposition leader. Because of my political cartoons, the government of Malaysia has repeatedly targeted me. I currently hold the record for the highest number of sedition charges in Malaysia. It's clear that the Malaysian government is going to enormous lengths to silence dissent and debate and lock its critics.
Hello, my name is Yesenia Armenta, and I am from Culiacan, Mexico. In July 2012, I was taken into police custody and brutally tortured into confessing to the murder of my husband. My attackers beat me for hours, raped me, and threatened to kill my children. In spite of independent medical evidence that torture took place, this confession was to charge me with no proof at all.
I am Pyo Pyo Ong, and I was arrested after organizing a largely peaceful protest in Myanmar, during which police attacked students with batons. I am facing up to 13 years in prison, and there are at least 50 other student activists still in detention. To prove that it has left its brutal past behind, the Myanmar government must release all prisoners of conscience now.
I am Walid Abu Al-Khair, a human rights lawyer in Saudi Arabia. I have defended many peaceful activists, including jailed blogger Raif Badawi, and have challenged the widespread crackdown on human rights across the country. I am a prisoner of conscience, jailed for 15 years under a cruel terrorism law in Saudi Arabia.
My name is Rania Abbasi. In 2013, Syrian governments came to my home and took my family and I away. No reason was given, and none of us have been heard from since.
My name is Mohammed Beksanov, editor of banned opposition newspaper in Uzbekistan. In 1999, Uzbekistani security forces tortured me. They beat me with rubber truncheons, suffocated me, and gave me electric shocks until I confessed to anti-state offenses. A judge used my confession to send me to prison, where I remain to this day. I am one of the world's longest imprisoned journalists.
I am Albert Woodfox, and I spent 4 decades in solitary confinement for a murder I maintain I did not commit. There was no physical evidence linking me to the crime. My conviction was overturned 3 times, and a judge ordered my unconditional release. Yet the Louisiana authorities continue to block my release at every turn. After 4 decades of isolation in a cell, the size of a parking space, I was freed in February 2016 on my 69th birthday.
Stage Rachel O'Leary, Amnesty International USA's Deputy Executive Director for Membership and Activism.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We've reached one of my favorite parts of the whole conference, which is this lunch, because we highlight some of the really amazing achievements that our activists have made. So I want to welcome to the stage Becky Farrar, our board chair, a former secretary of the board, current membership committee chair, to the stage to present the awards.
Wow, okay, so a little music intro too. Hi everybody, I hope you're all having a fantastic conference so far. It's my honor to talk a little bit about members and membership. And I want to do this by having a little bit of an interaction. So I'm going to be calling out some groups. You just have to listen a little. I'm going to call out certain member roles. And if it fits you, please stand, okay? So we're going to start with board members, past and present. Could they all stand? Any board members, past and present? Okay. Oh, you guys, yeah, you can applaud as we go. That's nice. I'm going to ask for some big rounds at some point here. If you've ever been to an international, stay standing please. If you've ever been to an international council meeting as a delegate or a representative, so some of our international guests can actually stand here because they're making contributions to the movement in a big way. Please stay standing, though. I want you to stay standing, okay, because I'm kind of doing a groupie thing here. Okay, now National Resolutions Committee. These are the folks that work really hard on all our resolutions, which is part of our democratic process. So if they can stand. They're probably all still working. The nominating committee. The nominating committee is right now working very hard to recruit new board members, nominating committee members. The Special Initiative Fund, also known as SIF, those folks who are representatives, there's one per region. They have access to some money if you have a project you want some funding for. Good group of people to know. And if you have served on or are serving on any board committee, working group, subcommittee, or task force, because we've had them all over the years. Okay, so the folks that are standing all fulfill really important governance functions for our organization. They help keep Amnesty as an organization strong. And so I want you to give a big round of applause for these people. Okay, so now all you wonderful governance people can sit down. Just enjoy your dessert. Okay, so the next group of people I want to talk about are, I think of them as these amazing brain trust jewels in our organization. The legislative coordinators. If you are a legislative coordinator or ever were one, please stand. These are folks that teach people how to lobby members of Congress. Very important group. Stay standing, please. Our country specialists, who are absolutely amazing experts on their countries. If you are or have been a country specialist, please stand. And we also have thematic specialists, and I'm going to call them out. If you're a member of the Women's Human Rights Co-Group, if you're a member of the LGBT Co-Group, if you're a member of the Military Security and Police Co-Group, if you're a member of the Business and Human Rights Co-Group. So these folks are incredible resources we can all use in our work, and I want us to just thank them for the expertise that they lend to our movement. Okay, you guys can sit. Now, there's another group that I really expect, I'm hoping everybody gets up at some point in here. These are people who work in our local groups and our student groups, but I'm going to call out because we've got several different groups. So if you are an area coordinator or a member of the area coordinator steering committee, could you please stand? Or if you've been an area coordinator in the past or a member of the ACSC, please stand. If you're a member of NIAC, the National Youth Activist Group, if you are a past member or a current member of NIAC, please stand. If you're a member of YPI, the Young Professionals, please stand. If you're an SAC, a Student Activist Coordinator, could you please stand? If you are a group coordinator of a local group or a student group, could you please stand? If you belong to a group, could you please stand? All right, these are the people, you all are the people who explain what amnesty is to people day by day, kick butt on petitions, organize events, rally and go, what I call yelling at the embassies. You do all that work. And so I want a huge round of applause for the folks who are doing our work. I want to encourage everybody who maybe was still sitting to just be aware. There are all these different groups you can belong to. If you're first time to Amnesty, getting involved in a group is a great way to learn about the organization. So I highly recommend that and invite you. So now have the honor to introduce a couple of other groups that are getting some sort of special recognition. And the first group I want to welcome to the stage is the Member Empowerment Training Working Group. Hillary Naylor, Eric Michelson, Beth Ann Tupin, and Todd Schwartz.
You have impact. I have impact. And I like it. I want to get me some more of that impact. I look around at Amnesty International and I see amazing capability. I wish that I had some of her skills. I wish that I had some of his knowledge. Well, fortunately at Amnesty International, there are volunteers and staff willing to share their skills and knowledge. Skills that will give you more impact, not just here at Amnesty International, but wherever you choose to shine your light. I'm Eric Mickelson, and I'm part of the Member Empowerment Training Project. In this project, trainers meet your group wherever you are. Trainers come to your group and provide training in a topic that you choose. You get to meet other Amnesty activists and work with them, and they get to meet you and work with you. And we all share the light. Now, I know what you're thinking now. You're thinking, golly, Eric, how can I contribute to having more impact? 3 ways. First, you can request a training for your group. Second, you can suggest or help develop a new training module. How would you like to see training expanded? And third, you can volunteer to become a trainer yourself. So come visit us in Action Alley. We're next to Carol Pearson's table. Come visit us and share your light. I'll see you there.
Okay, I have another group to call up to the stage, and they are going to make a presentation. This is the Area Coordinators Steering Committee. Michael Andrews, Nick Gabal, Laura Osborne Coffey, I know all their names, I'm trying to do it alphabetically, Carol Pearson and David Rendell. If you guys can come up to the stage.
Thank you. It's really great to be up here with David one last time. David, where are you? We've been on the Area Coordinator Steering Committee for a very long time, and we're leaving this weekend as Area Coordinator Steering Committee members. We've done a lot of work together in the past many, many years, but we're here today for the Hanaka Award, and it's really interesting because it's grassroots people doing work every day, and there was a way we wanted to honor people, and it was actually Carol Pearson's idea. She said, we need to highlight what people do all around the country. And we started out initially, it was called the Humies, which was sort of like a lame idea. It was my idea. And then it lasted a couple of years, and then there was this wonderful activist, Sister Hanaka, and I knew her because I was an area coordinator and she was an area coordinator, and she was in San Antonio, Texas. And I think it was Rick Roth's idea, said, you should name that award after Sister Hanaka. And we thought, that's a brilliant idea. So it's been the Hanaka Award ever since. And she was a longtime activist with Amnesty International. She helped start the UC Berkeley group in the late 70s. She worked for the Vietnamese boat people. She worked for people who were tortured. She was a brilliant activist, and she had a compassionate smile and a warm heart. So this award is in memory of her. And we want to welcome now the Capitol Hill Group 211. It's Tara and Juliana who are the coordinators, and they're going to come out with their several members of their group and accept the award. Do you want to? Okay, we'll shake everybody's hand, and we'll give another award. And you can. Oh, Barbara, there you go. And Tara, who wanted to speak?
Alrighty. So hi everyone, my name is Chara. I'm a current co-coordinator of the Amnesty International Capitol Hill Group 211 based in Washington, D.C. And really thank you, I cannot say it enough. Our group is truly honored to be accepting this award in remembrance of the late Sister Hanaka. In particular, and I'll kick it off to Barbara Jo in a bit, she knew Sister Hanaka, and so this award is doubly important to us as well. So the Amnesty Capitol Hill Group, I think like most other individuals in this room, we strongly believe that student and local groups really are the core of what drives Amnesty International and helps build an international grassroots movement. And our group is really thrilled to have been a part of this movement for more than 30 years now. We were founded in the 1980s, and Barbara Jo is a founding member of our group. So I really feel like a baby. I've been with the group for 2 years, so it's really an honor to be here. So our group has long demonstrated commitment to human rights activism and work. And in particular, in 2015, we made some key decisions that allowed us to strengthen our group in order to better educate and make a meaningful impact in the DC community and beyond. In particular, we set a goal at the outset of 2015 to increase collaboration with other local groups in the area, both Amnesty and non-Amnesty, in order to build solidarity and basically build better human rights movements and go beyond just the Amnesty community. As a result, we hosted several successful events to educate the wider community, focused on 4 different components: education, hosting panel discussions, film screenings that garnered wide attendees due to the fact that we included diverse partners in our collaborations. Taking action, we hosted 2 write-a-thons in which we collectively wrote more than 300 letters, and then at all of our meetings, we do urgent actions and we sign virtual actions as well. Fundraisers like happy hours, things like that. And lastly, service. We believe that in order to be a fully human rights movement, we need to give back to the wider community. So through essentially these 4 mechanisms and through our greater cross collaboration, we really feel that we've been able to build a very strong human rights movement. And I know I'm running out of time, so I won't belabor the point, but I will give a quick shout out for our social media plug. We are very active on Twitter, Facebook, Meetup. Find us on Twitter at Amnesty Cap Hill. Our social media coordinator, Young Min, who cannot be here, would be very proud. And basically, without further ado, if you wanted to learn more about our group, please see me or any of the people hereafter, or come to our Action Alley. We have a fantastic Action Alley set up in which you can learn more about our group and get inspired to take action with your own local and student group. So without further ado, I'm going to very quickly, before I kick it off to Barbara Jo, give a shout out to Juliana. Juliana Knopf, my fellow co-coordinator in 2015, and also David. David, come up. Our current recently elected co-coordinator who replaced Juliana when she stepped down in 2015. So I'm really thrilled and honored to be with here and with Fernando and Ashley, some of our newer members. And with that, thank you, and I'm going to kick it off to Barbara Jo to say a very quick word.
Here is the award. I'll speak as a founding member of this group. In 1981, we were people who, neighbors on Capitol Hill. We got together, we met at each other's homes. We had no internet. We communicated by phone, letters. We hand wrote letters. In 1984, we had a Cuban prisoner, an investigation case. He had been in prison 22 years of a 20-year sentence. And there were a number of Cuban prisoners who had extended their time. We gave their names to presidential candidate Jesse Jackson, who was going to Cuba, and he got 26 of them released. We were at the airport to meet them, Dulles Airport outside of Washington, a very exciting time, including our group's prisoner. And one member of that group married a member of Group 211, and they have a daughter who's in her 20s. I became a Cuba and Dominican Republic coordinator. That's how I knew Sister Hanaka. She was in the Southeast Asia co-group, a wonderful lady. She was originally from Hawaii, where two of my kids live. And so it's a great honor to have this award in her name. And I think she'd be very happy because she focused on Burma to see what's happened there lately. Okay, thank you very much.
This is really kind of cool because that is the group I was involved with. I take no credit for what they've done recently. I was a board member. I've had no time to be with them, but boy, does it mean a lot. That's my DC. They're awesome. Okay, there's one final piece of business I've been asked to do. There's a group health survey that the organization is doing on local groups, and I want to encourage you to fill it out if you're a member of a local group. Okay. This is a staff initiative, but it's part of their work in supporting local groups and student groups. Thank you. I was given it at the last minute, and I've not had a chance to read it, but thank you for the correction. Student and local groups, please fill out the local group health survey. So without any further ado, I'm going to ask Rachel O'Leary to come back on stage. And I want to thank Rachel in particular. The membership committee of the board, we are the board representatives who care about and keep an eye on membership issues. But our staff, MMD, is the group that is operationally charged with that. And it's important with board and staff to work well together. And I've only been in my position for a little while, but it has been a pleasure to work with Rachel. So Rachel, thank you. Thank you.
Wow, such kind words. Thank you. I am welcoming to the stage Terry Rodello and Jerry Carolina Rivadeneira to award this year's Lattis Kristoff Fellowship.
Hello, everybody. How's the food? Good? I had the pleasure of being the 2015 Lattis Kristoff Fellow, and now we're going to view a quick video to honor the legacy of Lattis Kristoff.
My father, Lattis Kristoff, was an extraordinary man, not only in the enormous hardships that he surmounted, but maybe more importantly in the incredible ways in which he gave back throughout his life. My dad, in a sense, had both lost the lottery of life and had also won it. He had won it as an aristocrat, as a nobleman in Eastern Europe. Then he lost it when everything he had was taken away, and he had to start over as a refugee in America.
War, want, and concentration camps, exile from home and homeland. These have made me hate strife among men, but they have not made me lose faith in the future of mankind. In short, I remain a rationalist and an optimist at a time when the prophets of doom have the floor. My query is, if man has been able to create the arts, the sciences, and the material civilization we know in America, why should he be judged powerless to create justice, fraternity, and peace?
Pretty awesome philosophy of life.
Yeah, it's really good.
The first group meeting after Chris's death, people were saying the best memorial for Chris would be something that would encourage young people who are already committed and involved in Amnesty International. And so we founded the Lattis Kristoff Memorial Fellowship.
The winner of the Lattis Kristoff Memorial Fellowship will then have the chance to work for 8 weeks with a senior Amnesty International human rights activist. And what excites us about it is this is a chance to do what my dad devoted his life to, which is reaching out to young people and giving them the tools so that they will be more effective in making this a better world. And at the end of the day, Amnesty International's success is going to depend on its ability to find a next generation to carry on the mission. And that is what the Lattis Kristoff Memorial Fellowship is all about. This is going to be a life-changing opportunity for some young man or young woman, but more importantly, because of the tools that they get, it's going to be life-changing for those who they're working on behalf of, not only now, but for years and years to come.
When I say human rights, y'all say now. Human rights! Human rights!
Just watching that, really, I miss Lattis. My name is Terry Rodello. I'm a longtime volunteer leader of Amnesty International and a current member of the Amnesty International Group 48 in Portland, Oregon, the chapter founded by Lattis and Jane Kristoff. Today, I have the honor of representing the Kristoff family in the presentation of this year's Lattis Kristoff Fellowship. During my time as an Amnesty member leader, I've had the honor and privilege of having two role models of how important Amnesty's work is to those who have no voice and have to have human rights as an integral part of my life, throughout my life, regardless of my age. The first was Janetta Sagan, when I was a member of the Palo Alto chapter, Group 19 in California, in whose name the Janetta Sagan Award is given. The second is Lattis Kristoff. When I moved to Portland, Oregon from California, I joined Group 48 and met Lattis, a quiet-spoken man who led an extraordinary life. Lattis attended our monthly meetings until shortly before he passed, but he was always passionate about giving and making the world a better place. This fellowship is his legacy that carries on with its recipients. This year's awardee is Oliver Hidalgo Wallenman. Oliver is an Iowa native and has been involved with Amnesty International for 8 years. He has held a variety of roles, including student activist coordinator and Midwest representative for the National Youth Action Committee. He has joined AIUSA after his father, who lived under the harsh dictatorial Pinochet regime in Chile, told him that Amnesty International was the most effective organization in helping those in need. Besides his work with Amnesty International, Oliver has worked in the political realm, having interned for his home congressional office in Capitol Hill, and most recently as Deputy Political Director on a congressional race. He is currently studying economics, international relations, and Spanish at the University of Iowa. In his personal statement in his application for the Lattis Kristoff Fellowship, Oliver stated that he wanted to work on the issues of wrongful convictions and the death penalty within the world of politics. He believes that social justice activists must take a larger role in politics to change today for a better tomorrow. When Jane Kristoff and other longtime members of Group 48 like myself met to discuss an award in Lattis's name, we knew Lattis wanted to encourage students to make human rights an essential part of their lives. Oliver has shown both in his words and his actions that he is one of those students. I asked Lattis Kristoff, his son, to write a statement to read on behalf of his family. This is his statement. My apologies for not being present at the AGM, but we Kristoffs are with you in spirit and salute Amnesty's work. At times like these, at home and abroad, it is particularly important to have organizations like Amnesty International giving voice to the voiceless. And as a family, we are honored to have the family name assigned to this fellowship. There are lots of reasons to be upset about the world, but it's so uplifting and reassuring to see the caliber of young people who want to enter the human rights field and to make the world a better place. My father, Lattis Kristoff, grew up in Eastern Europe and knew firsthand how hard brutal governments can be. During World War II and its aftermath, he lost relatives both to the Nazis and to the communists. He himself was held in a concentration camp, and after his release, he became what is sometimes, unfortunately, a dirty word today, a refugee. But fortunately, America took him in and gave him opportunities, and he took advantage of them and wanted to give back. That is why he became engaged in Amnesty. We are gratified and honored that the altruism and humanity shown him when he was a desperate refugee can be paid forward by sustaining a Lattis Kristoff Fellow who will gain the skills to help others who are just as needy today. From all of us Kristoffs, congratulations and thank you.
I first want to thank everyone who makes the Lattis Kristoff Memorial Fellowship possible, especially Terry Rodello and the Kristoff family. I truly believe that the fellowship combines some of the best elements of our organization, paying homage to the legacy of a great activist while investing in youth. As the fellow, I hope to work on a variety of issues, but especially bridging the gaps between the array of generations represented here at the AGM. I joined Amnesty International 8 years ago because of the profound idea that a coalition of innovators and social entrepreneurs can change our world. Amnesty International's efforts have saved the lives of innocent and persecuted people in all corners of the world. As the son of a Chilean immigrant who left the country under harsh dictatorial rule, I've seen firsthand the resilience of the human spirit. Like Kristoff believed, we must push ourselves to a higher level of achievement in order to right the wrongs and lay the foundations for a more just future. Lattis Kristoff witnessed the darkest hours of the 20th century during the Holocaust and subsequent Soviet rule. Yet, his own life exemplified the resilience of the human spirit. His son, Lattis Kristoff, wrote down his father's mantra. You just heard it, but it's worth repeating. War, want, and concentration camps, exile from home and homeland. These have made me hate strife among men, but they have not made me lose faith in the future of mankind. If man has been able to create the arts, the sciences, and the material civilization we know in America, why should he be judged powerless to create justice, fraternity, and peace? His analysis, his words, they've never been more apt than today as we approach the human rights challenges. But I'm more confident that together we can create a better today for a better tomorrow by investing in ourselves. A pretty common question in human rights circles is, how did you get involved? It's almost like a romantic question of how you met your significant other. But for so many people, it's not a matter of choosing to get involved. It's just embracing the stark realities of our world. For people like my father, they didn't really have a choice. So my introduction to Amnesty was when I was cleaning out the garage with my dad when I was a freshman in high school. And I stumbled upon an old set of country reports about Chile, his homeland, and he began to explain a long history of Amnesty's efforts to hold General Pinochet accountable for the crimes he committed under his regime. See, my dad came to the U.S. when he was 16 years old. He came to study, and like so many others, he came to escape an oppressive regime and eventually to build a better life for his family. He and Lattis Kristoff and plenty of others have seen the worst that humanity's had to offer. But because of people like you, they've also seen the best. While our mantra is human rights for all, our creed is creating a better, more just world for all. And so I want to thank you all here at the AGM. Our efforts here are never in vain. Every letter makes a difference. Every rally makes a difference. And every prisoner of conscience that is freed makes a difference. And as I stand here at this AGM with this organization and all of you, I'm reminded that our message are strong and our movement is robust. Thank you, everyone. Y gracias a todos.
Thank you and congratulations, Oliver. I want to welcome to the stage now the Individuals at Risk team.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having an excellent AGM. My name is Emily. I'm a campaigner on the Individuals at Risk team. And we're here today to present the annual Individuals at Risk Awards to recognize some of the amazing work that's done by individuals, local groups, and student groups on casework throughout the year. These awards are based on 3 of the critical areas of work that's in the Individuals at Risk program. The first awards are for 1 local group and 1 student group who have done outstanding work on their case commitments. The Student Group Award goes to the Amnesty International High School chapter at School of the Holy Child. They work on the case of Su Changlan, a prisoner of conscience in China. They've sent over 100 letters, had an article in the local paper, and have made public education and actions available throughout their high school. They couldn't be here today, but let's give a round of applause for the group and for all student groups that do casework. The Local Group Award goes to Group 463 in Las Vegas, working on the case of Navi Saleh. Please welcome. Since 2014, the group has sent almost 400 actions on the case and have engaged in creative tactics such as hosting a 5K and coordinating actions with international amnesty groups on the case. Let's give a huge hand to Group 463 and the many local groups doing incredible casework over many years.
We are Las Vegas, New Mexico, not Nevada. So it's a very important distinction. Even people in the boonies, in the rural areas, can do casework. Please, if you're a local group, get on a case. They've got lots of cases ready for you, and you can engage, and it really strengthens your group if you do that. Also, come by our action station in Action Alley.
Wonderful. Thanks again. The Right for Rights Awards this year go to 1 student group, 1 local group, and 1 classroom. The Student Award goes to Illinois Wesleyan University, hosting a campus event that resulted in over 100 letters, 2 great articles in local media that illustrated the ideals of right for rights, individuals coming together for human rights with the power of their pen. Is there a representative from Illinois Wesleyan University here? Perfect. Feel free to come on up and receive the award. Thank you so much. The Local Group Award this year goes to Group 471, who, in partnership with the Amnesty International chapter at Rancho Buena Vista High School, hosted another amazing event featuring a former prisoner of conscience from Vietnam with over 700 letters written by 300 guests with live music to boot. They're watching via live stream right now, so if everyone could give a huge round of applause for both groups, as well as all local groups that do amazing Right for Rights events every year. And finally, the Classroom Award goes to a Professor, Kristen Lashua, and her students at Vanguard University. Professor Lashua made Right for Rights the capstone project in her human rights course, and the students took charge of organizing a campus event as their final project and educating their fellow students on human rights. They aren't able to be here today, but again, a round of applause for all educators who engage in Right for Rights as well. And finally, the Urgent Action Network Awards go to one individual writer and one group. The individual award goes to Andrew Irwin, who couldn't be here today, but he consistently takes urgent actions with us almost every day, and we love seeing his action reporting every day. So a shout out to all individuals who take part in the Urgent Action Network. And finally, the group award goes to E. Wales Brown and Group 73 for always reporting your group's fantastic actions, for taking so many actions to end urgent cases of human rights abuse. Please feel free to come up to the stage, and thank you so much. Our deep thanks goes out to every individual and every local group and student group who engages in casework all around the year. You're truly the heart of casework. And for more information about how to get involved, please stop by and visit us at Action Alley, and we're happy to support your work. Thank you so much, and thank you, Rachel. Back to you.
Again, with the tall people and the microphone. I'd like to start out by thanking a few people, too. We had some folks on stage that I think deserve some recognition. David Rendell and Michael Andrews will both be rotating off of the ACSC this year after a distinguished term of service. And not only that, Michael has been instrumental in creating the art space by doing fundraising and getting in-kind donations and just getting everything together. So let's give Michael a round of applause. And for anybody that doesn't know David Rendell, he's the guy that took your picture today and at every conference that you've been at. So thanks so much, David, for always being there for us and taking the pictures and really telling the story of Amnesty. I want to acknowledge another group of people, but one person in particular. I want to acknowledge Ed Gurr, who's celebrating a birthday today. Because the show does go on, despite the fact that some of us have had birthdays. He's not the only person, perhaps not even the only person at that table who's had a birthday this week with a couple of other folks. But I just wanted to take the time to say happy birthday. Thank you for all that you do. Ed is on the front lines of working with all of members, and so when you call or when you send an email, he's often the person that goes to. So I just wanted to take the time to say that. And I think that making time, it's always, really crushed. I've been back there and we've got people on radio saying, we're over time, But it's important for us to take the time to say thank you. Most of us are not in it for the thank yous. We get called to this work for a lot of reasons, but we don't do this work for praise. We do it to stand with the people of Syria, to stand with the people of Flint, or with the people of Miami, or our communities, or for the people in this room. We do it for each other. We do it because it needs to be done. We write letters. We stay up late. We wake up early. I'm like, here. We make time to meet with each other in strange hours and in strange places. We protest. We lobby. We stand in solidarity. And we show up for each other, for our communities, and our world. We do human rights in our lunch breaks and our evenings. We carry petitions into our places of business and bother people to sign. We do it with our friends and families. I talk over all of our holidays and say, well, do you know about this case or what's going on here? We meet our families, neighbors, friends where they're at. Sometimes we meet our partners and our future partners in the groups that we have formed. And we do it with our hearts and our heads and our hands.
And we all know that activists are doers. You heard from the Membership Empowerment Training Group. You heard about all of the great work that's happening with the individuals at risk groups. But I also do want to highlight a couple of other things that have been going on. There are members at Florida State University who were so appalled to learn about the U.S. torture program that they've devoted their time outside of class and work to organizing their own human rights conference on campus 2 weeks from today. So if you're in this room, there's an opportunity for you. And there's members at Cedar Crest College in Allentown, Pennsylvania, who recently pulled together over 100 people in their community last week to rally against violence in Burundi and build bridges for human rights across borders. And that's right, do it, clap it out. And you've heard a couple of times today about Get on the Bus from the Mighty 133 in Somerville, Massachusetts. Well, they're gearing up as we speak. They'll be driving down Friday this week of next week from buses from Maine and upstate New York, all over the place, Boston, down to New York City, where they will rally with up to 1,000 other Amnesty activists in the streets in one of my favorite events of the year. 133. These types of examples are the reason that I do this work. My calling to movement work is to help support the people who are building the communities that they want to see and live in. And I think because of that, I've worked in volunteer-driven organizations my whole life. It's been kind of a twisty-turny path. It's gone to youth development organizations or here or there. But for me, it really begins in the place that I grew up. And I grew up in a violent home. I grew up in a home that had troubles. And I regularly had to decide to intervene one night or the next night, and I had to decide how I myself was going to stay safe in my own house. And there's a thing about violence that has a way of displacing you from yourself, from your community. It keeps you in secrecy. And the thing that's so important to me about Amnesty International is that we're together, we're a community. We stand with each other, and a lot of us find our home here. And when I was going through that as a kid, I always used to kind of repeat to myself like a mantra, like, I'll never be here again. I'm gonna, when I leave here, things are going to change or whatever. And in that way, I learned to ground myself in the reality of the plans that I had and the future that I saw, where my family was safe, I was safe. And later, when I had a little bit more framework to think about what kind of happened and the ways that this plays out in communities across the country, I realized the ways that public policy, poverty, patriarchy kind of create a web that my mother, my sisters, and I couldn't escape. And when I realized that we deserved a little bit more than my judgment or my anger, and perhaps even my forgiveness, I think that was the day that I became a feminist. And then later, when I realized that my safety and my mother's safety and my sister's safety was not enough, when I realized that other women, children, and families were terrorized by the kind of violence and of structural racism, patriarchy, religious intolerance, homophobia, that was the day I became an activist. And that doesn't look the same for everybody. It doesn't look the same for everybody in this room. But it's critical that no matter what our lane is, that we're acting and driving change. And there's a saying that kind of floats around our movements that is, nothing without us is for us. And we've seen too many systems here that are not for us. And for example, in Miami, we have the connection between the school system and the criminal justice system, known as the school to prison pipeline. And we've got expansive violence, state violence that harms communities in terms of excessive use of force, access to healthcare, bed quotas for deportation centers, and the criminalization of youth, women, families, and poor communities. I have seen over the last 3 years here at Amnesty, communities, black folks, brown folks, API folks, white folks, elders, youth, people in between, LGBTQ folks, women, men, gender nonconforming folks, Muslims, Arabs, Christians, Jewish folks, atheists, humanists, people from all walks of life. So many communities stand up in resistance to this type of injustice and say no to militarized policing, say no to the unjust use of force, say no to waves of gun violence ripping across this country, and to the injustice of walls being built against migrants and refugees. Make no mistake, there is change coming. We have momentum. But change can be scary, and I'm actually literally a professional activist, and sometimes I don't know what my lane is, and sometimes I don't know how to make change, and I'm afraid that I'll get it wrong. I get caught up in what it could cost me. I get caught up in the criticism that I could receive, or how it feels to take a risk. And when I get stuck, I have a practice that I'd like to share with you all today. I'll actually ask you to do it with me. So I'll ask you to close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. And now I envision myself telling the story of 2016, 10 years in the future. And when I tell that story, am I going to say that I was on the sidelines watching, that I was waiting for something to happen? Or will I say that I was in the streets, protesting, talking to my congressperson, fighting injustice with every possible breath that I have and in every way that I can, and bringing my friends and my family along with me to build the kind of community and the kind of future that we want to see with each other? Because that's what we do here in this organization together every single day. So for me, this weekend here is about recommitting to that vision. I'm recommitting now to building a world where everyone is safe, where all people can be in loving relationships, with where each and every person can walk and play or just live in their community with freedom and ease. And those communities we're building together are rooted in values of dignity, truth, freedom, and justice, and they're sustained by the ways that we work together. And for the next year, we are going to reaffirm those commitments and our commitments to each other by launching a grassroots project that's going to reimagine the ways that Amnesty engages volunteers and staff and partners work together to build a powerful movement across the country that transcends borders. And we're going to have a plan that calls for committees comprised of volunteers to build, or in some cases rebuild, the structures that we need for effective and meaningful activism. And we're going to go beyond the commitment of shared leadership to moving to co-creation, so that the things that we do are for us and by us, so that the people who are going to use those structures are going to be intimately involved in creating them. And just as grassroots activism defined the beginning of Amnesty International and the growth and impact of AIUSA, the expected outcome of this project is the reimagination of the ways that we resource and execute member empowerment and the ways that we collaborate that will define a new era of success and growth among the activism team. So in 10 years, I know what story I want to tell. And now's the time for you all to start organizing your story. And it began many years ago. And all of those stories kind of collided here this weekend, and they're woven together now. The thread of this weekend will carry through the tapestry of your story as you decide which way to go to make the change that you want to see in the world. But the cool thing is that it comes with me too. And it comes with each one of us now, as all of our stories are connected and intertwined. And together, I believe that we will win. I thank you for your attention here and for everything that you do with Amnesty International USA. Thanks.
Program session block 3 begins in 4 minutes. Please find your way to your session of choice. Sessions will end at 4 p.m. as scheduled.